began with what some say is the most watched trial in the country.
Alec Murdaugh, who also faces multiple charges for financial crimes, trying to prove that he did not murder his wife and son to distract from that scandal.
I didn't shoot my wife or my son anytime, ever.
An hour ago, the prosecution rested its case against him. Tomorrow, the defense begins closing arguments. Jurors heard from more than 70 witnesses over the 6 weeks of testimony. Just this morning, the jurors visited the scene of the crime, Murdaugh's sprawling property known as Moselle. Maggie and Paul Murdaugh were shot and killed there on the night of June 7th of 2021.
Prosecutors reminded jurors time and time again about Murdaugh's repeated pattern of lies. They also pointed to the digital evidence putting him at the scene of the crime minutes before the murders. WSAV News 3's Andrew Davis has been in the courtroom for all of this. Andrew is joining us now live from outside the Colleton County Courthouse with our top story.
We expect to be telling you about the jury coming back and actually starting their deliberations, but Creighton Waters went for more than 3 hours today during his time. We talked about being testimony. It's actually closing arguments in this case, talking about how Alec Murdaugh was a liar and that he deserved to go ahead and be charged and be convicted in this case. He started strongly with a talk exactly about what he wanted the jury to hear.
The defendant was the one person who was living a lie. The defendant is the person on which a storm was descending, and the defendant is a person where his own storm would actually mean consequences for Maggie and Paul, and consequences for those who trusted him. And that person is the defendant, Richard Alexander Murdaugh.
Now, Waters continued on to talk about the lying that went on for Alec Murdaugh as various times, and also spoke at the end especially about how the jury would be the voices for both Maggie and Paul Murdaugh, who could not speak anymore. I'm here with Sean Kent of the Kent Law Firm. He talking about some of the legal side of this. What did you think of Creighton Waters' closing arguments today?
I thought it was too long. I thought the trial went on for 6 weeks, and then you do a 3-hour closing. I think you lose the jury's attention. He had such good information, but it gets buried. It'd be like if Dave Chappelle wrote a comedy skit for Donald Trump. It's great material, but the presentation's going to be bad. So he had great material. I just thought it just went way too long.
How does that affect tomorrow with the defense now getting would jurors get a whole night to think about that prosecution testimony?
And that's a great point. That's good and it's bad, because now you have a jury sleeping on all that information they heard, so that's kind of a disadvantage to the defense. But they come back fresh, and hopefully if Jim Griffin, who will be doing the closing argument for the defense, if he comes back with a lot of energy, some new information, and is very concise, I think he can win some jurors over.
You said he needs to show some emotion as well.
Completely. Trials are a theater. You know, jurors are just regular people. They're nobody special. They watch trials on television. They watch CSI. They watch court TV. They watch Ally McBeal from when I was young, and they want the show. And so if you're boring and if you take too long, they doze off.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out tomorrow morning. 9:30 is when the defense will now present their case closing arguments. Then the jury will be charged from there to see exactly what may happen in this trial. We could get a verdict by the weekend. We're supposed to go all the way through the weekend if necessary for deliberations. For Sean Kent, I'm here. Andrew Davis for WSAV. Back to you.
Andrew, thank you. We want to remind you, you can watch the trial live on our website and Facebook page. You can also keep up with our daily live blog. To see that as well as other previous stories, go to wsav.com/Murdaugh.